What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are back with another figure unboxing, and for the second consecutive video we are doing a figure from the movie Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Last video we did Miles Morales. Today we're taking a look at Miguel O'Hara, also known as Spider-Man 2099, played by Oscar Isaac. I am thrilled about this unboxing. Well, I'm always thrilled about every single unboxing, but I've seen the images of this guy and I thought that he was such an amazing character throughout the movie, and so I'm very happy to know that I'm getting this guy in the collection. There was some controversy with this figure as far as its initial release compared to what we're gonna get now. I will obviously discuss that throughout the whole video. I do want to let you guys know I did purchase this guy on Sideshow Collectibles, and as always we'll include the link to their website on the description of the video if you guys want to go ahead and pre-order this guy, as he is as amazing as it gets. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get started with the unboxing and review. Okay, everyone, so looking at the design of the box, we're going to get the same exact design as we just did for Miles Morales, and I am talking about the background, the coloring effects. There's a lot of coloring, a lot of, multiverse kind of effects throughout the whole box. We do get an image of Spider-Man 2099 in the middle, just like we did with Miles, the name of the movie at the top left, the name of the figure in the same style as Miles, and again, just the background itself. I mentioned it with Miles, I'll mention it again with this guy right here. It is absolutely awesome. I really love the coloring effects and how well it is for this specific box. On the side, same thing, the name of the figure at the bottom, and once again a spider logo, but this time representing Spider-Man 2099 instead of Miles, along with a lot of coloring effects that obviously are shown throughout the movie. On the back, again, also same thing. So we get a kind of hexagonal type of weirdly shaped background, along with warning illegal information and just more coloring effects representing the Spider-Verse. And then the left side, just different coloring but the same style as the right side, with the name of the figure at the bottom and obviously the spider logo. So as I mentioned before, a big fan of this box. I love all the coloring effects on it so far. Okay, and then removing the top cover, same thing as well. We get pretty much a hexagonal shape to see through the figure and everything that it comes with, and all of its accessories, along with a red background, pretty much as you guys can see here on the right side, and the name of the figure as well, which is unfortunately in the opposite way, and I apologize about that. And then the left side, same thing as they did with Miles. So at the bottom, we're gonna get a brief paragraph that you guys are more than welcome to pause to read, which is a quick description of the character. On the top, we get the name of the figure, a Hot Toys logo, and then we get 3 different images of the figure himself. I was a big fan of how they looked with Miles. I feel the same way about Miguel over here on this box specifically. So to me, I think that they did a really good job with the artwork with both boxes. I love the coloring effects, the images of the figure. So I would say off to a good start. Okay, so now we have the plastic covering for the figure. This guy might not come with as many things as Miles, but he comes with plenty enough of things that we can definitely have a lot of options. Looking at the top cover, that's the first time that I ever see a head sculpt on over the figure. We usually see it on the side, so that's pretty interesting. But first impressions with Mr. Miguel O'Hara, he looks great, man, and I'm shocked. He is super massive and heavy, without question the heaviest Spider-Man figure I've ever carried in my hands. I'm used to getting these light, skinny figures for Spider-Mans from different video games, movies, and things like that. This guy, it is the complete opposite. The guy looks buff, massive, and I am really liking the suit that they put on top of the body, which I will discuss more in detail a little bit later on. So definitely off to a fantastic start. As always, you guys know we'll talk about accessories. We'll take a deeper look at Spider-Man 2099, and then we'll cap off with a side-by-side comparison, and then final posts and thoughts on the figure. Okay, everyone, starting off with the accessories. So we get plenty enough of things that we can play around with the figure and post them in different ways, and I'm really liking what it comes with. A lot of different accessories that are very specific and for the figure. So starting off with the display base, we get the same exact design as we get for Miles. So we get a blue background with a very shiny and glossy spider logo along with the name of the movie on the left. The only difference would obviously be that the spider logo is different because obviously the characters are different. And then of course we get the name of the figure in the same font that we did for Miles. I mentioned it with Miles. This is a fantastic display base. I would say the same thing here. We again also get a flight pole with a waist clamp. This one is obviously wider because the figure is bigger. But again, to me, I am a big fan of the display base. I like it a lot. The color to me really matches the figure in so many ways. We get two different head sculpts for the figure. So we get Miguel head sculpt on the left, and then we get the mask sculpt for Spider-Man 2099. For now, you guys just need to know that it comes with both of these things. I cannot wait to try them on the figure. I can tell you that both options are phenomenal, and I don't think you can go wrong with either of them, as to me they're both done very well. But again, I will talk about these more in detail once we get to the figure. And then he comes with his cape that I really like a lot. So this cape, basically, it doesn't have any type of articulation or any type of wiring. It's pretty much made out of plastic. I want to think it has magnet right there, as you guys can see, and that's the way it's gonna go connected onto the figure. But it doesn't have any type of movement. It's at the way you guys see it, that's the way it's going to be, which is a small concern of mine because I really wanted to have options to post the cape with the figure, but still in all, it looks really, really nice. We get a couple of hand display pieces, so both are wide open. The two on the top left are just normal poses with his hands wide open. The ones on the right show his claws, which is very unique for a Spider-Man figure. When have we ever had a Spider-Man figure with claws? That's what's very unique about Miguel's Spider-Man, that he has the claws, and I'm glad that it comes with it. It's going to give us some very unique and different poses to do with a Spider-Man figure. So for now, you guys just need to know that they're both included in the figure, and obviously we'll try them on when we post the figure in the end. And then we get two more additional hands. So on the right side, we're gonna get the time travel device. I think that's what it is that goes on his arm. Excuse me. And then on the left, it's gonna come with his closed fist, which already came with the figure. Now it does have holes on them already to avoid an additional pair of hands being built for this figure, and that's where obviously the spider web effects are gonna go. So just kind of wanted to show these accessories with you guys. These are the only hands that we get for the figure. And then these power effect pieces, that's what I think what I could call them. I really like them a lot. It's kind of like it has this kind of crystal see-through type of coloring effect on it. One is blue, one is red, and they're supposed to go connected onto the fingers of the figure that are wide open. More on that a little bit later on. And then this is another unique part to the figure. We get a really weird set of spider web effects, or I guess if you want to call it spider laser effects. They remind me a lot of Darkseid's Omega beams. I really like the design of them. They got weird shapes to them, which I really like a lot. Without question, a lot better than what we got with Miles, which we unfortunately got the old spiderweb effects. These ones are very unique. I love the coloring on them. They have red, and in the corner on the tips, it has kind of like this yellow whitish type of effect, making it seem like it's traveling. So I really like the spiderweb effects a lot. Can't wait to try them on the figure. The only kind of concern of mine would be that they're too long, so that might affect me a little bit when it comes to posing and taking pictures for the figure. And then for the second consecutive video, we are having to do a part 1 and part 2 for the accessories. So with Miles, we got a diorama base representing kind of the multiverse. Same thing here. We kind of get like the camp base where Spider-Man 2099 is. So we get this cardboard piece that has letters on the back side. Obviously, the pamphlet that comes from Hot Toys does have instructions on how to build this together. These two things, these on the sides, it does come split, and you guys are able to put the stand pretty much easily. It feels really hard, and the cardboard is pretty much very strong, and I like that a lot. I feel like it's going to be very easy to post this thing excuse me, For sure, it feels easier compared to the one that we got from Miles Morales. I thought the one for Miles felt a little bit loose, and that was a little bit of a concern of mine with the Miles display base. Now with this one, it feels very easy. And then to just kind of show you guys off, so these are some of the pieces. So again, each of them has a letter on them, and as I mentioned before, the pamphlet does come with instructions on how to go connect it. All you need to know is that pretty much those holes is where it goes connected onto that big piece. So as you guys can see, there are 2 holes and 2 holes. You guys would bend the cardboard piece on the big yellow piece and then connect that onto this kind of small triangular type of shape, piece. They're all made out of cardboard. The good thing is that they feel hard, so I think it should be an easy process to pretty much connect everything. Again, the instructions come on the pamphlet, and to me they're pretty easy to do, but I will connect this off camera since it is kind of a hard process to do in camera, but just kind of wanted to show you guys what it is, how it's supposed to go connected. An additional set of pieces, again, they're just different looks. I really like the idea of this whole diorama base. It's very unique as well. And again, it's supposed to represent that camp base where the Spider-Verse is, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I watched the movie. But I really like how everything looks. Including the big diorama base that has all the spiderweb effects for Miguel. And again, we're going to go ahead and pretty much do the whole process of connecting everything off camera. And then I will show you guys how everything looks once it's all connected. Okay, and there we have it. So that is how it's supposed to look. Again, a very unique diorama base, but what I like is that everything is so strongly connected. Nothing feels loose. It wasn't a hard process either off camera. And again, it's a very strong position, so I don't think it's gonna fall over whenever I'm posting the figure. I really like how it looks, and again, just a very unique diorama base for the figure. As I mentioned before, to me, without question, it's much better compared to the Miles one that we got. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this diorama base. It is a very unique one for sure. Okay, everyone, so now we get to Miguel O'Hara and discussing the guy in full detail. So the guy looks absolutely awesome, without question. Starting off first with his mask head sculpt. So it's obviously connected separately compared to the body, and it is a different texture. So the suit is pretty much made out of fabric. The head sculpt is made out of plastic. To me, it looks great. I love the shape of it. It matches well with the body. I think they did a really good job with that. The paint applications are great as well, so I have no issues to it at all. Now, there's nothing too much to this head sculpt. There's no lenses that you can add on like other Spider-Man figures, but still in all, it is a great look to it, and I like it a lot. Now, as you guys know, this is not the only option that we get for the figure. We're obviously going to get Miguel O'Hara's head sculpt that I am about to add on right now, just to discuss which one is better, because to me it is a really hard choice. So let's add Miguel's head sculpt on it. This, believe it or not, everyone, this is one of my favorite head sculpts I've ever seen from Hot Toys. Yes, it doesn't have any skin texture, which I'm okay with because this is an animated figure. Pretty much the whole head sculpt is sculpted. The paint applications are very nicely done. But to me, I am such a big fan of those eyebrows and how they show a mad and mean expression to him. The hairpiece, same thing, so nicely done. There's different strands of hair going different ways, and it's just very nicely sculpted and painted. The hairstyle is absolutely awesome, but what really just gets me is those eyebrows and how nice the expression is for the figure. The figure does come with rotating eyeballs that I'm about to show later, but I don't even think I have to move the rotating eyes because those eyebrows show the expression plenty enough. But obviously, either way, I do want to show you guys the rotating eyeballs just to display them. So as you guys can see there, just kind of move them to the sides. The eyes are kind of colored in this red brown type of coloring, and again, just moving those eyes shows a different dimension to the figure. But as I mentioned before, the eyebrows is what does it for me. So to me, an amazing head sculpt. Now the rest of the body is perfect to me. The shoulders are so, I guess, wide and squared and buff. Unlike any Spider-Man figure that I've ever seen, the figure is so buff. Just look at how thick his arms are. That is unlike any Spider-Man figure that I have. As you guys know, the Tom Hollands, Tobey Maguires, and figures like that, they're skinny. The body proportions are the greatest, and they're very light as well. This guy is the complete opposite. He is heavy and very buff. Now, the controversy surrounding this figure, as you guys know, the first release, the first prototype was this figure without the bodysuit. It was just the figure made out of plastic with visible joints. Sure, it was going to be very easy to articulate, but that's not what Hot Toys is to me. That is probably SH Figure Arts or Mondo. This is Hot Toys. They're supposed to have the figure display as real as they possibly can. And to me, and what they did is that before they even did the final release, I think a couple of weeks later, they did a re-release of the prototype with the suit added on. And to me, it was a fantastic idea. Without question, the figure just looks better. It's made out of fabric. Sure, around the groin area, there's kind of some added on fabric to it. But to me, that's actually great because when I post the figure, I don't think I'll fear the fabric possibly tearing apart in any way. But to me, the fabric of the suit looks great. The paint applications are phenomenal as well, and to me it was just a great addition to the figure. To me, it saved the figure because had they not added the suit on, I don't think I would have bought the figure, in my personal opinion. Now, as you guys can see, those I would call them kind of straps that are added onto the suit. They look really cool on him. Again, something that I've never seen on a Spider-Man figure, right? At the bottom of the suit. So pretty much almost everything is made blue. The boots are pretty much, there is no seam line, but again, technically there is a seam line because the body contains all types of joints, but obviously the suit is covering everything, so there is going to be a lot of joints around the figure, which even with the suit on the figure, this figure should be very flexible, and obviously I will show that a little bit later on when I talk about the articulation. On the arms as well, I completely forgot to mention this, so it does come with extra pieces that you guys can add on to put the spider web effects, which we have for other Spider-Man figures. To me, that's a great idea. Why not, I would say. So just kind of want to talk about it before I forget. But overall, the figure to me just looks great. I really love the fabric suit that they added on to the figure. It looks pretty awesome to me, in my personal opinion. Okay, so wanted to kind of just add some accessories onto the figure. So right now I went ahead and added his cape. So I was mistaken. It doesn't have a magnet effect, or so I believe. When I connect the cape to the figure, as you guys can see, it's very movable. It's very loose. So it's really not too connected onto the body. Now, the good thing is that in between the tips of the cape, it is a very tight space, so I don't think it's going to come off in any way. The only way you guys can take it off is if you remove the whole head sculpt on its own. So to me, it is a good fit, but as I mentioned before, I am a little bit concerned that this thing doesn't move in any way. So the way that it's posed, that's the only way you guys can pose the cape. I am a little bit concerned about that. Okay. So now that we removed the cape, it's time to talk about the articulations like I mentioned before. So underneath his boot, it does come with articulation, as you guys are able to see there. It's easier to pose compared to Miles's figure. On the ankles, even though there is a suit on top of it, there is a seam line right there. And so the ankles are very flexible. They move from side to side, from top to bottom, and around the leg area. Even though the fabric suit does kind of get in between a little bit, still in all, the leg does swiggle from side to side, even though it's very hard to swiggle the leg. And then it does move all the way to the side. Now, as you guys can see, there's that bend right there on the fabric suit. I am a little bit concerned about that, but because there is an added amount of fabric, I think we should be fine. The legs do bend to the back all the way there. There's that bend right there for the fabric, and then the knees do bend all the way to the top till there. So articulations are pretty good for the legs, in my personal opinion. On the waist area, even though it's hard to move, it still does move to the front and back pretty nicely. The body itself just feels heavy, man. It is hard to move this guy, but he does move to the sides pretty nicely as well. It swiggles to the sides as well. On the arms, they move pretty nicely to the to the top. It swiggles from side to side. Man, they're so thick, the arms. The elbow does bend pretty nicely as well, and the arm does go front and back with ease as well, although it doesn't go completely around because of the fabric suit. But as you guys can see, it bends nicely. Something new that I have to mention with this guy is the neck. So this is not the head sculpt, it's the neck. It swiggles a little bit. He's got a really thick neck, so it even has its own articulation. And then the mask, because it is attached to a ball joint for the figure, it's going to go pretty much to the top and bottom with ease, swiggle side to side. Pretty much you guys can go completely around because of the ball joint. So I think with the head sculpt, it's fine. So even though there was a fabric suit added on to the figure, I think that the articulations are still very good. There is some limitations, but I don't think it's enough to, to ruin the figure. I still believe the fabric suit was a great addition to the figure, but please let me know in the comments if you guys do agree with me on that or not. Okay, so just to show a quick side-by-side, so I thought about bringing other Spider-Man figures out here just to show you guys how tall this guy is, because without question, he is the tallest Spider-Man figure I have ever received. But no, I think I'd just rather pose him side-by-side to Miles, which obviously is the guy that I just got a couple of days ago, and I unboxed him here on the channel. So as you guys can see, a big difference as far as width, height, and how big the characters is, as well as their suits. So I thought that the chemistry that these guys had was amazing. They were both amazing characters, and I really loved the movie a lot. It's very interesting how just, Miguel tries to stop Miles from doing certain things, and how in some ways he tries to teach him to do better, but at the same time it seemed like he had a personal kind of a personal beef with him. But I thought that both characters were just so awesome throughout the movie. I am a big fan of Miles as well as Miguel, but yeah, just look how great they look side by side. Again, one guy is just so tall compared to the other one. Now the question is, which is the better figure? That is the question. And to me, I'm going with Miguel, man. I can't express it enough. I just really like how the fabric suit was made, and then the body proportions as well as his head sculpt is what does it for me. I think Hot Toys really nailed it with Miguel O'Hara. The figure is just that awesome. Don't get me wrong, Miles is still really cool, but to me with Miguel, there's a difference with him. Again, we get a guy that's thick, muscular, heavy. That's not something that we get with Spider-Man figures. So to me, the fact that we get this guy to be different compared to the other ones is, I think, what does it for me to say that he is the better figure between these two. But again, feel free to disagree with me on that in the comments. Okay, everyone, so just to end the video, a couple of poses and obviously my final thoughts on this guy. So to me, Spider-Man 2099, in my personal opinion, was a big success by Hot Toys. They saved this figure. It was in danger of being one of the worst figures that they had ever released. As I mentioned before, to me, that initial release with the joints, with the visible joints, it looked like a big Mondo figure, and I am just so glad that they put that fabric suit on it. Could there have been a easier fix or a better fix? I really don't know. I think this final result is as good as it gets. I thought that the suit was amazing. Both of the head sculpts are great. The accessories, same thing. The diorama base, phenomenal. So to me, I really can't find any major flaws on the guy. There's always a small thing here and there that you guys can think of that could have been better, but I really can't find it with this guy. If you guys do, please let me know in the comments. I feel like my opinion isn't going to be shared by a lot of people, but again, that's the fun part about these videos, that everybody has an opinion and that we all have our right to feel a certain way about a figure. To me, as I mentioned before, I am a big fan of this guy. He looks fantastic. One of my favorite figures I've ever collected. One of my favorite head sculpts. And he just might be my favorite Spider-Man figure I've ever collected because of how unique he is and how different he looks compared to other Spider-Man figures. So to me, a big success. And obviously, this is the second figure released for the movie, but not the last one. We still have a couple of more Spider-Mans to be released. I believe we have Spider-Punk and Miles G. Morales, and I think we have other ones as well. I can't believe they didn't release a figure for the Spot. I wish they would have done that. That would have been a really cool figure to add on to the collection. So just kind of wanted to point that out. But just want to thank you guys as always for supporting the channel and for tuning into this video. As always, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this figure specifically. I feel like there's a lot of different opinions about him. If anyone is interested in purchasing the figure, as I mentioned before, I will include the link to Sideshow on the description of the video, so that you guys can go ahead and set it up for pre-order. I don't think he's available to be shipped out yet, but he should be up for pre-order if you guys are interested. As always, I want to thank you for supporting the channel. It means the world to me anytime that you guys tune in to either like, comment, subscribe, or whatever you guys do to support the channel. It means the world to me. And again, if it is the first time that you're watching me, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, join, and also turn on your notifications so that way you guys are always updated anytime that I do drop a figure unboxing here on the channel. A reminder also that I am on TikTok and Instagram. The links to that are on the description of the video. Make sure to follow me there so that way you guys can see all of the images that I drop for the figure, as well as be updated on any time that I drop any news on my channel. So guys, I want to thank you all for tuning in to this figure unboxing for Spider-Man 2099 from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Thank you again for all the support, and I will see you next time.